Welcome to this live lecture. I want to look at what we covered in the past 3 weeks. Media buying and also some element of types of advertisement, what we are supposed to cover also in the coming weeks. Especially when we talk about government, marketing, and also when we talk about business to business advertisement. So the media as a medium that carries the communication of messages to prospective consumers, and how you choose the type of media, the advantages and disadvantages. Just a recap of what we have covered in the past. Marketing and advertisement being a component of marketing. This is just a recap of the two courses, just a general, so it's not specific. The marketing course, the lecture, or the advertisement lecture, but I just want to combine the two. So in business, we have the idea of political economy of the media, who owns the media and who controls the media. And so advertising agencies and marketing agencies are part of the media business. That's why you may find that these days when we talk of digital marketing, also when we talk of the downsizing of these communication and media platforms is what comes to be known as integrated marketing communication, where we have a thin line among marketing, communication, advertisement, public relations, whereby in the past whereas you would have different portfolios for all those profiles, but then you discover that downsizing would call that the same person who does PR will be in charge of advertisement, placing advertisement, creating adverts, and also doing the marketing, and also communicating or even creating. So you find that what a PR will do, he will do the work of a marketing officer, advertising officer, communication officer, or perhaps even a journalist is all blended into one. Why? Because of the advancement of technologies, and so technology, as we say, sometimes it has replaced certain portfolios in the industry. Okay, whereby in the past there will be a lot of people employed to do different segments of jobs, but with technology, it is not necessary actually, and that's why some other companies will not have even a communication officer or a public relation officer. They would rather seek an agency to do for them, because maybe throughout the calendar year, media communication is not all that necessary. Maybe it is just a certain period of that calendar that media dissemination may need to be done. So in that way, you do consultancy companies to come and do your media communication, your marketing and advertising messages. So that's why we have those companies in the affluent world. Media is actually controlled by the same people. You find that same people, Robert Murdoch, they own the media and they have shares in the media. And you find that so the media industry, the recording industry, the television digital industry, and when you talk of the music industry, you talk of the equipment like Sony, you may find that they are all blended in all these other media industries. Okay, so you find that what we call conglomerates, those are small, those are bigger corporations that own the media or have shares in the media. And this time now, we used to have about 10 companies worldwide that had shares nearly most of the media. But now they are downsized to about 6 of them. And so Time Warners, you know of Time Warners, they merge with other companies. Sony is one of them. So those are conglomerates, big guys, companies that run the media. So you have to be careful in a nation if you allow international companies to own the media. You realize that that has an influence on the political economy of the media. Where we are afraid by government running the media, we should also be afraid of business economy running the media, because they would have an impact on the political system and on the economic system of the country. So then we have other individuals who run the media, whom we call media mongols, like Rupert Murdoch, Oprah Winfrey, and the likes. Okay, they have great shares in the media, and so they influence also, and they control public opinion. So we have to be careful also on products and all that. Like the ICT now, we talk of Bill Gates. And so you can see even with the issue of COVID-19 and the research that is done in the pharmaceuticals, and also what is done in the area of research in medicine, they are very much influenced. They influence the impact because they sponsor, they fund. And so even the conspiracy theories that are there, that they are actually geared to control the population, downsizing 85% of the population control, and that's where we hear about COVID having started. So all those, because so you have to be careful of having, even in a country, some people controlling the media, and that's why there's a policy sometimes of whereby cross ownership is not encouraged. We don't know what we have with the IBA, but at a certain time in our country, somebody was not allowed to own, like the Post. They were not allowed to own the newspaper. They were not allowed to own a TV station or to own a radio station. I think they were geared to go that direction. That was that if they are found in all the outlets of media production, then they have a very great impact on the opinion and political and economic influence on the masses. So we don't know. These days we have seen some companies or some media mongols owning shares or owning multiple media outlets. We have people who are owning a newspaper, at the same time owning a radio station, at the same time owning a TV station. So that is very, very dangerous. So mass media advertising can be cost effective because the costs are spread over the larger number of people, the ad reaches. And so with social media, new media platform, advertisement has become very, very cheap. Advertising in traditional media is very expensive. Finding space in a newspaper is very expensive. But also when you look at the disadvantages, that in a newspaper just spans for 24 hours. And so when you place an advertisement and you pay that much lot, you discover these days you may not even need an advertising agency for you to advertise. You may just use your phone, your smartphone, and place an advert without paying. You don't consult anybody to create for you an advert. You can create it on your own. So technology has somehow replaced the hassles that traditional media would have done. So you find that these days you can reach actually many. Look at many people who are advertising on the Zambian Samples or Facebook platforms that are there for advertisement in Zambia. And they are making an impact. People are buying products. People put sofas on a Facebook page on Zambian sales or Zambian products, and you go and buy without paying. Of course, you may say bundles, but that is an hidden cost. Okay, that is an hidden cost. But the idea is that you reach out, you as an advertiser, as a seller, you reach out directly to the consumer. There's nothing of advertising agency between people, but you reach out directly, and you have that engagement, direct engagement with the buyer. So it has actually made that social media reaches buyers individually, but also at a mass scale. Because if you're advertising on television, these days it depends who has the bouquet for a certain TV station and how many are watching. So if you want to advertise, let's say on movie TV and on Facebook, I think your Facebook page will reach many people, and they can access it as many times as possible. Just a single advert you would have placed. And if you've placed it on movie TV, only people who have access to movie TV would see that advert, and it will be just for a shorter, maybe 3 minutes. And so if you do not pay for more, then they will not see that. But for social media, that can stay for a longer time. So you see how technology has influenced marketing, has influenced advertising. Okay. Then we'll talk about suppliers, agencies, and the media. In that gist of creating an ad and placing an ad, that is now somehow blurred with new technology. So these days, actually, advertising by placing on those Facebook websites, I'm saying those website vendors, it has become cheaper. I don't know of any Facebook site that is charging for you to place it there. Okay? Hello? Okay, na bwe. So, when we are doing adverts, there's a desired audience to which want to sell the message, and in that way we have to segment our consumers, and when we segment, we are thinking of the technology that would create, and that's where it brings the question of media buying. What type of media you're going to use? But with social media, we can now customize our adverts to specific audience on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, and the like. We have types of advertising, let's say brand advertising, the most visible type of advertising, which looks at a brand for a longer term, and brands like Coca-Cola and Apple products. So there's the idea of branding, which is you are creating a brand. Okay, let's say if I want to start my own fashion design, I like Lee Cooper or like Pierre Cardin. Those are brands. But also there's branding, whereby you are introducing a product on the market, and you want it to be a force to be reckoned with. Sometimes you discover that you say, but if you have already created a brand, there's no need to advertise. No? You find that the most brands, renowned, like Coca-Cola and Apple, they invest a lot in advertising, and they do a lot of advertising. Well, even without advertising, people know. People have the feeling and the appeal to get those products. But yet, there's that consistency in producing the brand. And there are values attached to the brand. And those values are what makes the brand really shine. And so that's why sometimes you find that you can have a brand and a product. Branding is creating that product to be a brand. But a brand also, it could be whereby you have already created a brand, let's say Apple. So any product you make under Apple will sell because it is associated with the brand, the Apple. And that's why you find that any brand which is associated with, let's say, Lee Cooper, any brand that will come, even Mercedes-Benz, you have variety of Mercedes-Benz. But just because it is a brand, you find that anything that will be related to it will sell. Because Benz has a certain values, okay? The values that it embraces, okay? Affluency, comfort, and so any product under that line is very much appreciated by the consumers. So even if you introduce that new brand, it will still sell because there's already a brand name. Okay, so like in Zambia we have Trade Kings. Okay, so Trade Kings has you see how much Trade Kings has invested in advertisement, especially television advertisement and radio advertisement. So they are very much popular. And so whatever brand comes, even if you know the product is not a necessity, but because it comes under Trade Kings, people would value that brand. Okay, because Trade King is a force to reckon with in the Zambian marketing and advertising industry. Okay, so you have institutional advertising like Trade Kings. You have institutional like Trade Kings. You have also institutionally advertising like World Bank, whereby things supported by them they carry weight. But also institutions like what institution would we think of? Yeah, Trade King is an institution, and also when we think of Zambia breweries, we think of bottlers, you think of all those. Like in the phone industry now in Zambia, you have those who repair phones. What are they called? They also have a brand name as an institution, okay? Advertising institution. So people know that if I take my phone to these people, they will repair it well, okay? But also there's a retail or local advertising, okay? So you have to look at retailers, and so you have retailers who supply things and advertise through their retail chain, and then there's also the direct response advertising, where social media comes in, or where direct media technology comes in, where you use mail, internet to deliver their products to consumers, and it is more engaging because it is direct. You are not using an agency, but you are going it yourself as the seller, reaching out to buyer or potential consumer. There is also business-to-business advertising. This is a very interesting phenomenon. It's whereby you are selling products not to consumers, but you are selling products to business, because that business need that product to create another product that will be on the market for the consumer. So there are those secondary products that are used to create a popular product. Let's say if you want to create mojo drink, you know that you may need sugar to create mojo drink. So Zambia Sugar will do an advert to the Mojo company to sell them sugar so that they may create the Mojo drink and sell to the consumers. So Zambia Sugar will have a marketing strategy of advertising to consumers, but at the same time to other markets that may need sugar. Let's say to make biscuits, they may need sugar to make soft drinks, they may need sugar to also make other food products, sweets, so there's that. So in that way, it's business to business. Advertisers place most business advertising in professional publication or journals, but these days it depends. But these days we're talking about all those being disadvantaged by social media. So that's why it is becoming cheaper and cheaper for you to place your advert on social media, Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp and also YouTube. There are other adverts that also go to non-profit advertising. So like this time of COVID-19, the adverts we are seeing on about COVID-19, masking, washing hands, and people being sensitized on the effect and danger of COVID-19, those are non-profit advertisement. And usually those companies like the media has to be also social responsible by providing social responsibility by placing those adverts for free. So those are done by organizations like in medical areas and also certain campaigns that promote community awareness and community sensitivity. Okay, so a form of programs that are run by donor agencies, non-government organizations, let's say male circumcision or fighting for equality or any consumer protection or paying your tax. Those are non-profit, like ZRA advertising, NAPSA advertising, those are non-profit. So sometimes they just conscientize and they are promoting community awareness and promoting values that are very important for the community. So we have also what is called government advertising, which is a public service advertising, where the government maybe advertises for elections, registration, getting your national registration cards, and also being aware on how you should participate in the events that are coming, like maybe national events or national holidays, or maybe also encouraging people to keep Lusaga clean or keep Chiboria clean, all those public service advertising, or maybe making people aware of how they should not vandalize things in the community. So there are many. Also whereby maybe people are letting people that if you don't mask, we are going to arrest you and charge you $750. Those are public service advertising. They can also feature into non-profit advertising somehow if they are made by institutions also that are cooperating and working together with the government. So there is okay. So that's about more about the evolution of advertising from traditional media to contemporary media, and how the world has become a global village, and how traditional media has been somehow derelegated to nothingness in terms of making advertising revenue. So whereby the creative era, each is now appearing in the social media, Facebook. So companies now are advertising on Facebook. They are attacking social media platforms to reach out to consumers, direct to consumers, and they are reaping their returns over investment, meaning that they are paying less for what benefits them more. Okay, but we cannot also underestimate traditional media. Others have still continued to advertise and do marketing through traditional media because it may not be all people who would access the internet, as the internet at the moment in our country is very expensive. Bundles, talk of e-learning platforms, how students are finding it difficulty to have bundles to follow classes online. So in that way, there are areas in our country where perhaps social media may not reach. There's poor network, and then especially this load shedding makes it impossible for people to access the internet platform or new media platforms easily. So you find traditional media like print, especially magazine, also becomes appropriate. Because for a magazine which is quarterly, it means the advert can be accessed for 4 months. But for a newspaper, it can be accessed for 24 hours. So you see those advantages. For television, it is just for those 3 minutes if you bring it at prime time. So that's why you have to really do your research of your segmented consumers, segment of customers, and you know which is the best way to reach them out, which is the best way to make returns over investment. Okay, where do you make profit by paying more and actually getting more of your product accessed by the consumers? So that's what we're talking about when we talk of technology and marketing, technology and advertising. Okay, and so media buying needs research. You have to do your research, marketing research, to see what is on the market, who are the competitors, who are your competition, and where would you make more profit. You look at demographics, you look at psychographics, and you look at also ethnicity, culture, and all those influence the type of media buying. What platform do you place your advert on? So this is what we have been looking at in the past 3 weeks, both in marketing and also in advertisement, trying to see how do you make the best of your advertisement and how do you make best of your creative marketing strategy. And so this week we're going to look at integrated marketing, communication in marketing. And then if we look at integrated marketing communication, I would like to see how do we create our marketing strategy, how would we plan our strategy, especially with digital media, digital marketing, and digital advertisement. So this is just to give you a recap, and then we'll continue this week again with the class. So as for now, I leave you there, and I'm going to put notes on marketing, PR 1010, on integrated marketing communication, and then on PR 1020, PR 1020, advertisement concept and management. I'm going to put also on retailers and wholesalers. So for this week, we'll look at retailers and wholesalers in advertisement, but we're going to look at integrated marketing communication also in marketing. So as for now, it's cheers, enjoy your day, as we now return to live streaming and recorded lectures. But I'll continue using the Mondu to place material, to place notes, to place slides, and PowerPoint for your perusal. As for now, supporting digital media, supporting digital advertisement, there I go. On integrated marketing communication, we are doing PRA 1010. I want to see how marketing and integrated marketing somehow play the responsibilities of public relations, the responsibility of advertisement, the responsibility of business communication, the responsibilities that needed more profiles to carry in business. So when we come to using technology now, especially the new media platforms, meaning the internet, which is WW 2.0, but now we talk of WWW 3.0, which is the internet, your social media platforms. And so there's much, like in marketing and in advertisement, there's much interaction where business or seller meets directly with the consumer, meets directly with the customer, and then there's immediate feedback, because the customer, you can interact with them and you customize your marketing messages, your advertising messages appropriate to that consumer, and in that way you even you are actually adding customer satisfaction and customer value, because you place your customer, your consumer at the center of the marketing strategy and the center of the advertisement strategy. And so that's why now you blend all the works of marketing and advertising into one portfolio, recognized as integrated marketing communication. And in that way, you blur the geographical impediments that might exist, whereby if you did it on TV, it is only TV stations that are watched in a country, or maybe in a certain region, or even in local TV. But when you put on social media, you put on the internet, you have transcended all those limitations. You have become part and parcel of the global village. So even in putting this lecture myself here, it's not only my student at UNZA who are going to access it. Once placed on YouTube, once placed on live broadcast, on streaming live on Facebook. But it will be accessed by anyone who might want to come later on to access it through the internet. It transcends barriers. Therefore, there is also a lot of interaction. Electronic media, such as the internet and wireless communication, have changed the media, marketing, and advertising landscape. So they have become more personal, appealing, and customized, what we call customized, more placing the consumer at the center, creating customer value. So integrated marketing communication is a practice of unifying all marketing communication tools so as they send a consistent, persuasive message promoting company goals. Where we are talking of PR, business communication, marketing manager, advertising manager, journalism, they are all blended or integrated into one profession, which is the IMC. Okay, in that way, this is a phenomena that has emerged with the development of the internet in the early 90s. There might have been those trade barriers throughout Europe, but those have been blurred with the fall of the Soviet Union, and then that has been blurred, and now we're talking of a global village. Marsha McLuhan talks about global village, whereby the world has become like a small village. It's very easy to communicate effectiveness and efficiency of the internet as in enhancing quality and effective communication in marketing, in business, in advertisement, and in public relations. So it means that there's more to do when it comes to advertising on the social media platform. And so the role of PR and the role of public relations, and the role of marketing have all become one. They are not now separate roles. They are all one roles. The one role played by one individual. Okay, so we'll come and look at integrated marketing communication. But before, maybe I give you a time to think on these questions, where you have to think about what are the differences between marketing and PR. What are the differences between advertising and PR? And what are the differences between PR and integrated marketing communication? What are the differences between marketing and integrated marketing communication? What are the differences between advertising and integrated marketing communication? What are the differences between journalism and integrated marketing communication? And what is the difference between business communication and integrated marketing communication? And so if you come to understand that, and then you'll see how these have been turned into a single entity, a single portfolio, okay? And you see how much this has affected the downsizing of the industries, communication industries. And so if you look at that, you see that in integrated marketing communication, research is very important, just as research was important in traditional professions. So marketing research strategy is very important, and also trying to see, when you do that research, the questions you're looking at is the questions of who are the competitors. Who are the competitors? What do they have to offer? And what do you have to offer? And what are they offering that you can capitalize on and offer more of what they are not offering? And also, what are the challenges in the market that you can feel you can create a customer value that has not been created by your competition. Okay? So you look at what agencies are there, what companies are there, what products are on the market, what are the prices according to segments, what are the values and the profits that you can gain involving in that trade. Okay? And then also you are trying to look at how do you profile yourself? How do you brand yourself? Okay? You compare what are the strategies others are using, those those who are your competitors, and what strategies can you create different from them, okay? So how do you add customer experience to enhance customer values? So you have to create a certain customer experience that is not there, is not being offered in the market. So those are fundamental questions that you tend to ask yourself as you want to do integrated marketing communication. Trying to say act in a sense that you honor the customer and create value for the customer. So that is very cardinal and very important. Okay. So those are some of the challenges that we face each and every day in doing marketing, in doing advertisement in the new era of integrated marketing communication, or in the era of technological advancement, especially in the ICT. Okay, so maybe we look at some of the highlights of the integrated marketing communication. Okay. So secondary data, existing research information, organization, material, and archives can be good sources of information and data. This includes policy, statements, speeches, newsletters, magazines, news clippings, and previous marketing statistics, which shows how the organization previously communicated with its public and whether this was effective. You look at the library and online databases, online academic databases, like in America is peer reviews, and also ResearchGate, Educare, and some of those. So for qualitative research, which is soft data, I use open-ended questions, structured questions. It's more probing type of research, usually valid but not reliable, rarely projectable to larger audiences, typically uses random samples. Example of how you set the method is focus groups or one-to-one in-depth interviews, observation, participation, role-playing studies, and convenience polling. For quantitative, usually it's a close-ended question required forecast choices, highly structured. It is descriptive or explanatory type of research, usually varied and reliable, and also it's projectable to larger audience. Typically uses random samples. Example is telephone polls, mail surveys, mail intercept studies, face-to-face interviews, shared posts, omnibus studies, and panel studies. So online sources, much of it available online. Check on your own website. Social media feeds for data on your consumers as well. So you do content analysis. Tools like Google Analytics, search engines such as peer practitioners track the audience online as well. Don't forget to check out the IMS specific sites and organization. You can use this data to guide your own primary research, or you can do content analysis, the secondary data for trend. So client research in your group, answer this question: what kind of information do you need to help create an IMS plan for the bakery, or for the what I said my research is on orphanage or nursery for stray dogs. In this information available through secondary sources, where is it at the vets? What specific research question might you answer through secondary research? Write down at least 3 questions that you want to address through secondary sources. You will you will your secondary research inform with your secondary research inform your IMS plan. Explain what you do with the answers to your 3 questions. Primary research involves collecting the original data from your key publics, key audiences, key consumers. What you ask and who you collect data from will be based on the secondary background research, because through secondary data you find the gaps that are there, and then you are answering the question that is left or created through that gap that is there. So primary research is done using tools like survey, interviews, focus groups, like we have said. It depends on the goal of the objective of the research. Different methods are also more effective to collecting data with different types of audiences or various sampling techniques. So sampling research, researchers study a sample of population. Population is the whole group, the whole country. Sample is specific representation of that population. Random probability sampling requires that everyone in the target audience has an equal chance to be selected. You can't interview everyone, so you have to have a representation. For a precise random sample, select from list naming everyone in the target audience. If this is not, you may use telephone directories or customer lists to get that. Okay. So, how many people do you need to study to create margin error? For instance, 3%, 6%, 10%. Okay, maybe if you do 1,000 people, you create 25%, 3%. If it's 250, 95% of time you do 6%. So it's complicated a bit. Interview and focus groups are great research tools for smaller samples. In-depth interviews require you to discuss questions in length with a participant. Focus groups gather groups of participants to ask questions. Survey are the most common method of data collection, can include mail, questionnaire, telephone questionnaire, feedback survey, questionnaire, web email, or survey. The cost of the survey will depend on what method you choose. Mail or telephone are typically more expensive than web or feedback monkey survey. So there are many tips for writing surveys. Okay, and then client research. With the secondary data you gather, you create a picture of your audience. This is who you will target. Your goal now is to find new ways to promote your client. And so you choose primary research method to help you achieve this. Okay. So that is about that research.